My mom is from Dublin, Ireland, so I'm actually an Irish citizen. And my father is Reformed Jewish, and I was raised Roman Catholic. And the one thing about Roman Catholicism that I really liked is they believe in, I think they call it salvation through works. And they have the corporal works of mercy. And these were drummed into me in elementary school, because I did go to Catholic school for about 4 years. I never was a true believer in the Catholic Church. I did go to the synagogue for a little while with my father, but I was a little bit of a, shall we say, a cynical teenager. So
when I was younger and in the Episcopal Church, I was part of a traveling choir. I came to this church, and the second week, someone approached me and said, "I heard you sing, you need to be in choir." And I was shocked, and I said, "Well, I don't think so, but thank you." And she kind of introduced me to a bunch of the choir members. All of them were so excited at the prospect of me potentially joining. Everyone is so accepting. It's just really fun, and it really does feed me in a way that I didn't realize I needed.
For a long time, I think it might have been 7 years or so, I was involved with the tutoring program. It's Children Rising. Back then it was Faith Network, and I helped establish that along with Jennifer Nixon. And I did that sometimes twice a week for many, many years.
The mission I feel really connected with is definitely Children Rising. I've been volunteering with them for a couple years now, and it's just very concrete that you can see that you're making a difference. You know, the kids come in and they're not reading, or at least not reading fluently, confidently, and then at the end of the year they're reading. I formed a really close connection with one of the little girls that I tutored, not last year but the year before, and she would come in every day when I was tutoring, even though she wasn't being tutored because she had sort of graduated out of the program. But she would come in and give me a big hug and everything. And then I was given some tickets to a performance at Lasher Center for the Arts, a ballet performance, and I was able to take her with me, and we spent the whole day together, and it was just lovely. I'm sure I'll remember it forever.
I knew that Paul liked pudding. That was something he could eat. And I'm not a pudding maker, but I got out my Betty Crocker cookbook and made some pudding. It was actually quite tasty. The only experience I'd had with pudding, I think, was probably Jell-O many years ago. But Lonnie mentioned that her good friend Cathy had spent the night to relieve her so that she could be fully functional during the day. So I said, "Gosh, I'd love to do that. Can I do that?" And she said, "Oh, sure." I love it when you feel as if you can use the things you are good at to help people. And I thought, well, I might not be able to give a sermon, or I might not be able to, do a lot of other things, but helping people on the night shift is something I can definitely do. So I just felt so happy to be able to be there. I think it was the quiet moments that he knew that I was there. And I didn't want to talk with him, ask a lot of questions, because I know that talking was very stressful because of his lack of respiratory support. So I think him knowing I was there and me knowing he was there was sort of an unspoken intimacy, I guess you could say. I just consider that kind of an act of spiritual presence, to be able to be there with somebody when they need you. I think that's my highest calling, but I was so happy to do it.